So I've been updated that the YouTube videos have to be like 10 minutes long, which is insane when you think about one topic, and that is just talking about what diet's best and, why people fail diets and, what diet you should or shouldn't be doing, all these kind of things, and you have to drag that out for 10 minutes, which is a long time. But let me tell you something. In this video, I'm literally going to tell you why it is that diets simply don't work, or that they do, but only in this short space of time, and actually in the long run they're pretty awful, and why you might be getting frustrated because what you seem to be doing is jumping back and forth between diets, and let me guess, you lose the weight but then it piles back on again, if not more. So how can we erase, I simply used an eraser, I'm not too sure why, try to be clever, try and drag the video out because I know it's supposed to be 10 minutes long, which is a long one, especially when you're talking about just one topic. But anyway, shall we get into it? I think we should, and let's rock and roll. So where were we? Diets. Okay, so why long term diets don't seem to work. So let's say you wake up one morning and you decide, today's the day I'm going to go on a diet, and it's something that your friend has been raving about in the office because for some reason there's a lot of Karens in the office and they tell you one thing and then they tell you another thing. They're always bouncing between diets, and they try and give all this advice like you should do this and you should do that. Well, didn't you hear about this? And to be fair, it gets a bit frustrating and a bit stressful, and you think to yourself, all right, I'm going to have to follow it because so-and-so has lost X amount of weight on it, so it must be working. But here's the thing. And you try something the month before or maybe the month before that, because that is the issue, right? Long-term diets don't work, and the reason that is because you can't stick to the routine, the plan. It didn't have your likes and your dislikes in mind. Instead, it just said, here you go, here's a cookie cutter plan, go and follow it, good luck, and give you no support, and best of luck to you. So you twiddle along with your little cookie cutter meal plan that I've used time in the past, and it sucks, trust me. You take it home, you look at it, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how am I going to follow this? I have to eat 5-6 meals a day. My weekends are pretty much gone. I have one cheat meal. I don't like any of this food. And what's worse, I can't prepare any of this stuff with my family. So I have to eat separate meals. And that in itself is not fun because, I'm a family person and I want to be sitting down at dinner table enjoying the same meals as my family. I don't want to be sitting down on the table with a separate meal from my daughter, my son, my husband, my whatever, your partner, family, for instance. You don't want to do that because it just sucks, right? So what do you do? And then that leaves you onto a totally different dilemma. If you can't stick to this because it's simply you're not enjoying it, then how on earth do you expect to stick to it further on in the future? You can't. It's simply like doing something you don't like doing and thinking to yourself, well, I can keep this up for the rest of my life even though I absolutely hate it. And it's just not going to work because ideally, if you don't enjoy something, you're going to find ways to change it. And in the case of dieting and stuff, especially fads, you're going to follow one. You're going to do your best to stick to it. You're going to get to a certain point where it's just about tolerable, and then the week after week it just piles on and piles on. You're like, fuck this, I hate this, and it gets to a stage you're just like, I can't do this anymore. You've had your last rice meal and you're like, fuck this, can't do it, and then you bin it. But then it's the repercussions of that. All right, and that's something that I'm going to touch on now because that is super important. It's the repercussions after you've failed a fad diet that is the problem, and I'm going to touch on what that is now. When I chat to people who have done these diets, etc., who that are just restrictive, they don't enjoy them, what they then say is things like this. They feel guilty, they feel it's their fault, they feel like they couldn't work hard enough and they didn't have the right motivation, and they blame themselves for not being able to stick to this god-awful diet. Now, let's face it, had nothing that benefited them, and they didn't enjoy it, simple as that. But it's those kind of feelings that then suck because you're left feeling, well, first of all, you're left out of pocket from spending money on X, Y, and Z. The second thing, you are now blaming yourself because you you are the reason you can't stick to diet, so therefore you're destined to be, a certain size, shape that you are. And then 3, you are just left feeling, well, where do you go? Because you didn't learn anything. And that's the problem, all right? So these diets suck because you don't learn anything on them. Then a month later, after you pick your spirits up again, you feel good, and your friend comes along in the office and says, hey, I found another diet, do you want to try this? You're probably going to say yes, because it sounds good, it's claimed X amount of weight loss in a certain amount of weeks, but again, it's a cookie cutter meal plan or something that you just don't enjoy. And you think to yourself, shit, not again. Okay, let's try it again. Let's test my willpower. Let's see if I can do it this time. And then you'll get to a point again where it just becomes about tolerable, and then it's just an extra couple of weeks or days, and you think, I can't do this anymore. And then you sod it up, and I don't know what that means, but you give up on it. All right, and then that's another problem, because that's that one gone. And then there's another one, and then there's another one after that, because every single time you think that the only reason you couldn't stick to the plan was because you weren't in the right mindset, you didn't have the motivation, it was your fault, and all these kind of things, which are completely false. Why you can't stick to it is because they don't take your interest in mind. Now, see, if you were to do something that you enjoyed, let's say you had ice cream, let's say you had chocolate, let's say you had biscuits, all these kind of things that taste fucking amazing, unless you enjoy keto, in which case you can't enjoy that stuff. So yeah, why would you do that? I don't know. But yeah, you're allowed to eat these foods. Fantastic. Even better, when you have these foods, you don't fall off the plan, you don't fall off track, because you stay in a calorie deficit. That is so much better, right? It's like, okay, I can enjoy my favorite foods, but then I don't have to worry about, falling off the wagon, falling off track, feeling demotivated, and all these kind of things. I can actually enjoy stuff. And even better, you can enjoy the same meals as your family. You can enjoy the same meals as your friends, providing like methods and things like that to stay on track, which is another video altogether, and that's just about calories. All right. So there we go. I try to keep this video almost 10 minutes long, but it's nowhere near that. It's probably like 6, maybe less than that. But that's what I want to talk about, is literally, if you feel that you are jumping back and forth between diets, it is not your fault. It is the fault of the person who is giving that diet plan to you, because they haven't considered your likes, dislikes, or interests when it comes to foods. And you shouldn't feel like you're to blame because you couldn't follow it. Because like I said, it didn't bear any of your likes and dislikes in mind. So instead of jumping back and forth between diet plans, think about what you enjoy and then implement that. So for instance, if someone who enjoys carbohydrates, they're not going to go on a diet that consists of no carbs, because that's going to drive them insane. If you told me you can't have carbs, I would lose it. I love my biscuits, I love my chips, I love my burgers and rolls and bread and things like that. All the things that are supposedly mad, but they're not. Yeah, so you need to pick something that is right for you and sits in line with your values, and that you can see yourself sticking to for the considerable future. Because if you can't do that, then the diet that you're choosing is terrible and not for you. It's just a different way to view it. It's just my opinion, but I definitely think, having fun when losing weight, getting fit, it's really good. You don't want to be fucking bored out of your mind, unhappy, and all this shit up until the end goal. You want to be enjoying the process. And if you're not enjoying the process, then you're not really going to get to the goal. Or when you do get to the goal, you're not going to be happy, because you think to yourself, well, how the fuck am I going to maintain all this? Because I hated it. All right, so there we go. Take care, guys. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and hit the button below somewhere here, and I will catch you in the next week's video. Take care.